Well, on a sad note, tributes and condolences are pouring in following the death of Zulu King Goodwill Zwelithini. Traditional Prime Minister of the AmaZulu monarchy, Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, has confirmed that the king passed away from COVID-19 complications. Buthelezi said the king contracted COVID-19 in hospital where he was being treated for diabetes. The 72-year-old monarch, who was a diabetic and had been admitted to a Durban hospital in February, and the king's body will be taken to his home at Usutu Palace at Nongoma in northern KwaZulu-Natal. And of course it will be later where he will lie in state so that people can pay their respect. Buthelezi has appealed to the public to observe all safety protocols at this time of COVID-19. Residents of Johannesburg reacted with shock to the king's passing.
It's a great loss, to us as South African community, in particular the AmaZulu nation, and then to his family as well. It's a great loss, given the fact that historical magnitude of AmaZulu, him leading AmaZulu through difficult times during apartheid, seeing AmaZulu nation triumph to democratic dispensation.
I'm feeling very bad because it's my king. Yeah. I'm a Zulu person. I'm born from KwaZulu-Natal.
We've lost our pillar. We've lost our leader. We've lost someone who was so culturally aware. Someone who was bringing all the pieces together. I feel like it's not just the loss for the Zulu nation, but the loss of culture in itself and the people in South Africa, because that's what we're all about.
All right, SABC News reporter Vos Kumalo is at the entrance of the Nkosi Albert Luthuli Central Hospital, and as we cross live to him now, please just give us a setup of the situation right now. What has been happening since you got there?
Yes, Nkosi Mangosuthu Buthelezi being also accompanied by the two sons of Isilo or Ongangezwe Lakhe. His Majesty was just passed on. I went to Nkosi Albert Luthuli Hospital to collect the body of His Majesty so that he will be conveyed to the palace, and that's where he will be lying in state for just a few days for the public to view his body. Well, the sad news came early this morning, which also shocked a number of people, and also we've been hearing messages of condolences coming from all walks of life, also saying that the king was also known to have preserved Zulu culture and was also a symbol of heritage, especially for the for the AmaZulu or the Zulu nation. We know that they also reported earlier on, just a while ago, that actually where the king also took his last breath at Nkosi Albert Central Hospital is also just a stone throw away from where the tombstone of his mother, Queen Thomozile Thomo Zulu, was also erected here at Ketomena. But at the moment we are where the briefing of by the Premier of KwaZulu-Natal and also his entourage has actually arrived here at Mayville at Public Works. Let me ask our camera person Dabezinhle Kumalo just to show you the Public Works building where the Premier of KwaZulu-Natal and also his entourage and also the Executive Council will be addressing the media in terms of how the proceedings will take place from here. What we understand is that even though this hasn't been confirmed yet, but for KwaZulu-Natal Premier is to say that, or is to write a request to the President Cyril Ramaphosa, requesting a special or to declare the funeral of the king under the special category 1, a state funeral, whereby ceremonial military things will be observed here at the funeral, even though it hasn't been confirmed, the date hasn't been announced yet. But what we are getting is that the Premier is very likely to write to the President so that the funeral of the king will be held under the category 1 of the state funeral here at Mayville. That's where currently we are.
Yeah, when we started the program, we heard Johannesburg residents reacting with shock to the death and the passing of the king. So in KZN, as you learned about this when you started work this morning, how have the people around you, especially your colleagues and many other people, reacted to the announcement?
Yes, I mean, a number of people received this news with great shock. Some are also lauding him for the role that he has played. Well, a number of times the king used to say that while acknowledging King Shaga's challenges, that Shaga's challenges were to unite black people so that they could form one Zulu nation. But with His Majesty, who has just passed on, Goodwill Zwelithini, kaBhekuzulu, he was saying that his challenge currently was to ensure that there is social cohesion in the community, and also his job was to also unite all people of all the races. So people here knowing that the Zulu King was also, talking fondly about peace, and also the people who are also residing in KwaZulu-Natal. So generally speaking, the people of KwaZulu-Natal have received this news with great shock. They are still saying, because as we have known that a month before there were fake news that the king has passed on. So that also broke the internet. But it was actually found later that those news were actually fake. Were just ill information that was bandied about on the social media. But a number of people are saying that they've received this news with shock. And also KwaZulu-Natal government has also announced that they've cancelled all activities that were planned for today. So a number of activities will also take place with regards to the funeral. So we might also hear the Premier of KwaZulu-Natal also requesting that the President and also declared that all the national flags to fly at half-mast throughout the whole country of South Africa. And also had a number of people sending their messages of condolences from all walks of life. But the people here on the ground are saying that they have been deeply saddened by this untimely passing. We know that the king also used to invite maidens to go for a reed dance ceremony that usually takes place in September, where young maidens are being discouraged to engage in sexual activities, and also building of social cohesion in KwaZulu-Natal. That's one of the main things the Silo or kaBhekuzulu was also known for here in the province of KwaZulu-Natal.
Yeah, as a person who is very foreign to the isiZulu culture, one would not know, especially when it's not really a regular occurrence to experience a death of a king, that what customs are really to be observed during a somber time like this in and around the communities, and the role of the chiefs as well in different areas in the length and breadth of KwaZulu-Natal. What are the people supposed to do in mourning their king?
Yes, what we are told from 1968, when the then king Cyprian, when he died, we're told that people were not told immediately after his passing. He was buried, and then it was then that people were, the announcement was made public that actually the king has died, and also they will install, they then installed King Bhekuzuluat that time, they installed the regent king, Prince Mqwayizeni. So he's the one who took over the reins for about 3 years, up until the King Goodwill Zwelithini.
All right, we're going to have to interrupt you there.